What's up, everybody? My name is Nick.
I'm Mike,
Mike just got back from Ireland.
I don't know if that was an Irish accent, but this is the best board game geek.
That's right. This will be the best of Board Game Geek, where we talk about all things Board Game Geek. There are a whole bunch of different parts of Board Game Geek. We're talking about some hotness, the hottest games of the month, some news, our own personal picks. You know what? Let's get right in the news.
Time to talk about the Board Game Geek store. In the update, there are a whole bunch of bits and things that are coming, including games for Icons and Teutonica that are on the move and likely to arrive around May, so stay tuned for that. The main thing that Board Game Geek has got going on is they now have GameGenic products in the store. GameGenic is all about creating really slick solutions for storage and things. So talking about putting your game bits into little containers and things like that, card sleeves, all this stuff to keep your games nice and neat and pristine. These things are super awesome. They have a bunch of like solutions that you can kind of modularly put together, and they're all magnetized and whatnot to create little drawers and stuff. They are super duper cool. And there's even in the accessories area of the Board Game Geek store a tag where you can click on GameGenic to find all of their products. So definitely be sure to check that out. We're super happy and excited to have them be a part of the Board Game Geek store. Finally, where you can get all of your best board game storage solutions.
A bit of news is that registration for BGG Con opens up on March 30th. It'll be the same place as usual. We've been doing BGG Con. They're super fun. If you want a con where all you're just gonna sit around and play games, BGG Con is unmatched. It's just awesome. There's a humongous library. You're sitting around playing games. So you wanna go to BGG Con, registration opens up on March 30th, so get your tickets.
All right, that's a bit of Board Game Geek news for you. It's time to talk about the hottest games of the month, what everyone's been talking about. Let's hit the table right now for that hotness.
All right, so now we're gonna talk about the 10 hottest games of the month. These are games that have been all over the hotness. People have been talking about them, writing forum posts. And let's go ahead and start with number 10.
Number 10 is Lost Ruins of Arnak.
This was here for another reason.
Another reason. It's back in the hotness. There will be another thing associated with this.
It's usually like 12th or 13th on the list. It's always like just outside.
And there was
the
a
hotness.
year and a half where it was in the top 10 of the hotness. This is, of course, a game where you are researching, you're doing digs and stuff. You're archaeologists and you're trying to
find cool stuff.
Yeah, it's all in the pursuit of knowledge, which I think is a really cool theme for a game. It's a beautiful game, and it blends. This is like that, along with Dune Imperium, of course, is games that blend this worker placement and deck building. So you're playing cards and stuff along with where you're placing workers.
Trying to extend your rounds.
Yeah, you're trying to basically be as efficient with resources as you possibly can.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I played it. You played it, soloed it recently.
Yeah,
I soloed it recently,
times,
and I played it again another time. And I've been reminded, like, oh yeah, I freaking love Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Yeah.
I think it's so much fun.
It's really fun with the expansion that's been added. And speaking of that, this game will pop up again because of certain news that has come up. We'll talk about it in a minute. For now, number 10 is the Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Number 9 is here usually every month. This is Ark Nova, because people will be loving some Ark Nova.
Nick, I'm gonna go on a ledge and say it's a good game.
I just played it. I sold it the other day. It's incredible. I love Ark Nova. It's super fun. It's the hottest game in the last couple of years. It's still super hot. It's a good game. People really like it. Yeah, it's a good game. And we don't need to talk about it again because we talk about it every single month. But it's all about running a zoo.
Animals.
Animals and stuff.
Conservation. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, let's get to number 8.
Number 8 is Frosthaven. It is making its descent as it's getting into more and more people's hands.
And people have time to play it,
People have time to play it. You're also going to see it pop up in the most played games of the month, which is a lot. So Frosthaven is, of course, a follow-up to Gloomhaven, where you're now in a different area of the world and doing similar kind of dungeon delving fighting stuff. You're mercenaries running around doing tasks, and this seems like everything that's great about Gloomhaven, but then with little things spruced up, little elements improved, new things added from all the best parts of Gloomhaven. So of course Frosthaven is gonna crush.
Curious, we love Gloomhaven. We didn't get Frosthaven because we can't have time to play it. But like someday I'd love to play it because I love Gloomhaven and Frosthaven's crushing it too. So that's number 8.
Many good things.
Yeah. Number 7, I think, is about to hit people's hands, and I think people are getting very excited.
I'm getting emails about it.
Yeah, exactly. This is Darwin's Journey. God, when was the Kickstarter for this? Like 2 or 3 years ago? It was a while ago.
I think this was one that we backed in the beginning of 2020 when people didn't expect certain shipping things and production things to change.
Holding out. But nonetheless, Darwin's Journey is about Darwin's journey where you're on the Beagle and you're going to like the Galapagos Islands and stuff.
It's
this big kind of heavy Euro game, and it looks so cool. It's kind of got that old school like kind of like research art style to it, where it's kind of like a lot of like line work with like some watercolors like that. It's really pretty. It looks incredible in terms of the gameplay. Got some
Love the theme.
It's so cool, and I think it's really close to hitting people's hands. This one will probably be here for the next couple of months. As people are playing it, I have a feeling it's going to be jumping all over the hotness because people are really, really excited for this one. Us too, we backed it.
We're about to get our copy. Yeah, that's great.
So
Super
I'm
excited.
really, really excited to play Darwin's Journey, but it seems very, very cool. And it's number 7 because people are excited.
Number 6 is Hegemony.
I have a hard time saying this word.
Yeah, I think you kind of want to run it. Hegemony. Lead your class to victory.
Indeed, this game has gotten to people's hands. This is a big Kickstarter as well, and this is a game where you are running. It's a big asymmetric game where you're running a different class. So one person is like the working class in society, working class, the middle class, the capitalist class, and then the state. And the state's job is kind of to try to keep balance between all of them.
Yeah.
The working class is trying to get ahead. The middle class, I think, is also trying to get ahead. The capitalist class is trying to get a bunch of money and stuff. And you're like trying to put forth all these policies, and you're like working with the other classes. Like the capitalist class will be like, hey, middle class, let's lower some taxes. It'll help both of us. The working class is like, no, we need stuff, you know.
Which is true. They should be taxed.
And apparently this is like really accurate to how society works. The people who made this game like did a whole bunch of research, talked to a bunch of like economists and all this stuff, and like apparently it's really, really accurate.
Yeah.
And it seems like a cool concept. I don't know how much I personally want to play the game because it just feels a little too close to real life.
We were talking about like, it seems like everything, it seems really incredibly made, and is it too close to real life? Will it make me feel, we're pretty working class. We're like way behind. We're like, but that's what I actually
I'm like,
am
this
like.
is just my life.
Yeah.
But it's such a cool concept for a game. And
I think
we're
so.
talking about like, maybe if I don't want to play these kinds of games sometimes, but it's like, I'm so happy these kinds of games exist because it's just such a cool look. It's such a cool way to go about teaching in board games. And on top of that, it's just a big, heavy, crunchy game that apparently is really, really cool. And so I do want to try it.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious with the theme, how much I'll love it, but it's just such a cool concept for a game. So that's Hegemony, lead your class to victory. Very curious. Number 5 is a game I'm very curious about.
Same. This is called Distilled.
Yes.
It's about making spirits.
Making spirits.
You
You're making like gin and whiskey.
You get a bunch of candles and a pentagram.
Yep, exactly.
You light them up, start speaking Latin in
Get
reverse.
haunted, yeah, exactly.
And you get haunted. No, you're making whiskey and gin.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
things.
It's kind of like a big Euro game, and we're big Euro game players. And then on top of that, we're always fascinated by, neither of us drink, but we always love games about like beer making or wine making because it's such a fascinating process.
Yeah, and it's been around for so long, and there's just like
so much history,
interesting science. I mean, yeah, it's honestly utterly fascinating topic.
Yeah, and so this you're getting different resources. You're making different kinds of spirits. I believe you're also a specific character who is known for like in different parts of the world. So like, oh, this is like spirit making in like China or like France, and like that. And you're playing specific people who are known for this, which is super cool. But it's got a bit of push your luck because you want your like whiskey to be different, right? You want it to like stand out.
Unique.
So you have like your resources, and I know you have to like discard some of the cards from there. And so that's what's gonna make it different because you're like, oh, your whiskey doesn't have this one ingredient in it. That's what makes it different. But you can also like push your luck with that. If you push it like too far, you can end up just making like moonshine. And I'm just like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And so it looks really cool. It's kind of a big Euro game about a theme that's always interesting. I really want to try Distilled.
Me too. I think it just seems like really interesting. I like that there are some push your luck elements in, along with like kind of the typical like resource management and trying to figure out how to process the best kind of spirits you possibly can to kind of gain that reputation.
It seems rad. Yeah, it seems rad.
Really
Distilled,
excited for that one.
really excited to try this one. We didn't back it, but maybe someone we know did, or maybe get our hands on it. It's number 5. It seems real cool. Number 4, we both played actually this one.
We did. You played it IRL with Rado, and I played it on Board Game Arena. This is Earth.
Yeah,
this is a game
fun.
that's tearing it up right now. It's got people excited. I personally am really excited. It's people are saying it's a wingspan killer and stuff, things like that.
This is getting compared to a lot, like it's an Arc Nova killer. I'm like, they are not even remotely similar.
There's just tableau building with cards. If you ever put a bunch of things on
a nature
table,
game.
they're like, it's Terraforming Mars, but with flowers and plants. But this is Terraforming Mars with flowers and plants, where you are maintaining ecosystems, I suppose. You are playing out cards in a tableau, a little 4x4 card tableau and things. And there's all this engine buildingness to it because
Really
the cards will
heavy
come in
engine building.
basically one of 4 colors, or sometimes they're multicolor cards. And there's 4 actions that are associated with those colors. And when you choose that action, or if on someone else's turn they choose the red action, for example, you get to get a follow action, which will be a lesser version of the main action, but then you get to trigger all of your red cards.
Yeah.
In order, top to bottom, left to right. So there's this big engine that you get going, and you get to compost cards, and those composted cards are points. You get to grow little plants on certain cards, and all those are worth points. You get to put sprouts on cards. Sprouts are worth points.
Yeah.
It's just everything gets you points.
Yeah.
The cards themselves are worth points.
And there's so
it's about how to
many-
build a really strong
Yeah,
engine.
and then you also have like some end game scoring stuff.
Yep.
There's public there's public objectives you're kind of racing for on top of like some end game scoring stuff there, and your own personal end game scoring stuff. There are it's like again, it's kind of like Arc Nova. It's like there's a stack of cards this big. They're all different. So it's just like the way you can build out stuff, and you can like go like, okay, I'm gonna go super heavy this color. So every time like the teal action happens, I'm gonna get to do a billion things. Or you can kind of mix it up, and it's really, really fun.
It's really fun because you're always engaged with the game, because
Yeah.
if someone else is taking their turn, you will get to do
Yes.
stuff on, so you're
why we love follow
always
mechanics.
participating, which means it's highly engaging, it goes by nice and quick, and you get to do a bunch of stuff. Like, you will not have a game where you're like, I didn't do anything. Like, you will do plenty. Hopefully you did enough to win,
Yeah, it's very
but it's
cool.
honestly a game that's just like that dopamine drip, just a lot of wins along the way.
Points.
And it makes it so that, and all the games I played on Board Game Arena, I've never won against the AI. I don't care, because I'm doing all sorts of fun stuff. It's really
cool.
really fun.
Yeah,
We
it's
really
cool.
enjoy it.
That's Earth number 4. Let's get number 3. So number 3 we alluded to earlier. This is Lost Ruins of Arnak, The Missing Expeditions. This is the new expansion for Lost Ruins of Arnak. I cannot wait. It gives you 2 new characters, which were introduced in the Expedition Leaders expansion. But the main thing that this does, on top of just giving, there's more cards, there's more artifacts, there's more stuff, which is always good. But now there is a campaign, like a 6-scenario campaign.
For solo and 2-player
only,
and it's co-op.
And it's co-op, yeah. So I'm just like immediately like, yes. Because we play it mostly 2-player. A lot of people play it 2-player. Also, a lot of people play it solo because it's really fun solo. And so it's got now a no solo campaign, which I think is kind of similar to the solo campaign that's already on the website. But I think they flushed it out, beefed it up a little bit. But I am so excited.
New research boards, of course, to put up there to add more
course.
things. There's 2 new characters to play that you can just play in that the co-op version, or you can include any of the other characters from the Expedition Leaders.
Just give me more stuff.
Just more
man.
stuff.
Just
There's
give me
more cards.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I love, like we talked earlier, I love Lost Ruins, and I just want more stuff, more items, more artifacts, more guardians, more sites. I don't care. Give me it all.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the campaign too, especially to do it co-op and see like, okay, well, how do we kind of work together to it's a game what we were talking about before. It's like all about kind of stretching out your rounds as much as you can, being as efficient as you can. Then if we're getting to work together toward that, what can we get done? I'm really excited.
Yeah, really pumped, really pumped. So that's number 3, Lost Ruins of Arnak. The Missing Expedition has been all over the hotness because people be loving some Lost Ruins of Arnak, and so do we. Let's get number 2. Number 2 is another co-op kind of expansion to a game, and this is Unmatched Adventures: Tales to a Maze. So this is a standalone Unmatched set, as they're pretty much all standalone for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
But yeah, this is now a co-op one where you're playing co-op and you have 4 new characters and you're going against some kind of villain. In this case, it's a Martian invader and Mothman.
Yep, and Mothman, and then you're gonna go against some amount of minions as well.
Skunk Ape.
Skunk Ape and the
Ant
Loveland
Queen.
frog people and
Bunch of
giant
cryptid
tarantulas.
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
a bunch of cryptids and things.
Which I love.
The Jersey Devil and such. And yeah, so now what you're doing
Frank
is you are
from
play-
Arby's.
Hate that guy.
Hate that guy.
He's just a pain. He has all the meats and he hoards them.
He hoards them all.
In this game, you're doing unmatched stuff. So if it's your turn and you can play any of the unmatched characters with this set, you're just taking a normal turn, except for rather than me targeting Nick, I'm going to target one of the minions or the villain, in this case Mothman or the Martian invaders, and you're trying to knock them out, and they have a deck of cards that will simulate their actions. So their cards will have attack and defense values. They have effects and things, and it creates a wonderful kind of AI to go up against.
And it feels similar to normal because you never know, like, if I'm playing against Mike, I don't
know
know
what
Mike's
they're
gonna
gonna
play. And same with this, it's like you might know the cards. There's less cards in their deck than there is in a normal unmatched deck.
Sure.
But it's like you don't know when it's coming, and they all suck in terms of like they all do bad stuff.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there's an initiative order. So all the characters, including us two, you go in initiative based off of that, so you don't know when you're going to go. It's not like
Yes.
I go, then
It's
Mike goes,
randomly
and I go, then
determine
Mike
the
goes.
player order.
And so you might be last or you might be first. You might go first and then last. So it might go like a ton of turns before you go again. And we've got a chance to play it. It's really fun.
It's really fun. If you like Unmatched, it gives you a new way to interact with it. If you like the art and the characters of Unmatched, but you don't like conflict heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Well, now we can work together against a common AI.
You can now play Unmatched solo.
You can't play Unmatched
Which you
solo.
couldn't really play Unmatched solo before. And
Absolutely. So there's lots of ways to now engage. And the coolest thing about this that we love is, again, as always with Unmatched, anything that's out for Unmatched, you can use as a hero. You can use those heroes that come in this set just in a regular, normal, competitive game of Unmatched. And with the boards they have, you can even play up to 5-player games of Unmatched, which sounds insane.
It sounds insane. And it just makes me so excited for, like, we were talking about this yesterday. You can go so many routes with different villains. Yeah. You could go, like, classic villains like Captain Hook is in the public domain. So like Captain Hook could be a villain. You can go more cryptids like Mothman or aliens and stuff like that. If they
go IPs and give us Magneto.
Yeah, exactly. They have Marvel sets. Maybe it's like there's so many areas you can go with villains, like cool villains. And so really, really excited. It's really fun. Unmatched Adventures. People are super excited about it. Yeah, and it's rad. And so that's number 2. Let's get to number 1 though. Number 1, people are playing a whole bunch of it, and it was everywhere. Was that at Aircon? Because it was everywhere at Dice Tower
I saw it
West.
at Aircon, yes.
Yeah. This is Star Wars, the deck building game.
Yes, so people love Star Wars. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
And this is a quick deck building game where you're kind of going head to head,
right?
2 players.
Yeah.
I think it's the Rebels versus the Empire. Or Frank from Arby's. I don't know if he made it into there yet.
He's trying to get the Empire.
And you are playing out cards and things like that. A lot of people are comparing to like Star Realms because it's a 2-player deck building game where you're kind of getting built up.
There's some similarities and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and I think what it is in the row of cards in the middle. I think you can kind of like attack if you're the Rebels, like Empire cards in the middle and things like that. But you're trying to kind of get one over the other side of the galaxy, the galactic powers and things.
And everyone, I talked to a bunch of people. A bunch of people played it at Dice Tower West, and everyone seemed to love it. Like people were just raving about it.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Like we enjoy Star Realms just fine, but if I was playing a game like that, but it happens to be Star Wars themed instead of just like general space, I'm gonna play the Star Wars themed one, of course. Like I want to play like Luke out and things. Yeah. So
it's one thing that
I'm personally excited.
I never loved about Star Realms. It's just generic spaceships. That's it. And so to me, I'm like, oh, this sounds even cooler.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited. I just want to get my hands on it. But people are playing it. People are really, really liking it. Yeah, so it's number 1 because it was parked at number 1 for most of the month. People were very excited about it.
I really want to try it, so I probably contributed to it being number 1.
Indeed. And so at the end of the hotness, we always talk about the most played games of the month. So people who logged their games on BGG. These are the most logs for the month of March. First up at number 10, we have very commonly the Crew Mission Deep Sea, which had 4,422 logged plays.
Yeah, so we're talking about Frosthaven is now in the top 10 most played. Frosthaven has 4,460 plays.
That's pretty wild. That's a lot of Frosthaven.
Yeah.
Then the other crew, the Quest for Planet 9, had 4,488.
Absolutely. We got Terraforming Mars, usually around at 5,575. A lot of 5s.
That was Seven Wonders Duel. 5,336 was Terraforming Mars. Seven Wonders Duel had 5,575.
What he said.
Yeah. Cascadia had 6,009.
Oh snap, we got Arc Nova next on 7,060.
Azul had 7,265 plays.
Absolutely. Marvel Champions is usually around, kind of back near the top where it's been before. 7,741. And
Wingspan, which has been parked at number 1 for a minute now. I'm so curious of why. 9,674. Like it's on BGA. And I think it's on like this, you can play it on your Switch, and maybe it's just
really available.
Yeah, it's just very available.
It's widely available, and it also is really good.
Yeah, almost 10,000 plays, you know? And so that is the top 10 most played games month, top 10 hottest games month. We have a couple things that we picked out from BGG that we'd like, so let's get up and let's talk about some Murph picks. My Murph pick is gonna be something that happens on BGG every once in a while, and I absolutely love it, and that is making giant games really small, and this is gonna be Arc Minima. Arc Minima is an 18-card version of Arc Nova that a user on BGG made that I absolutely love, and they got permission from Capstone Games to kind of share it and show it. And I absolutely love this. Someone at one point made Gloomholden, which is like Gloomhaven that you hold in your hand, and it's like really, really cool. I love, this is one thing I love about BGG is that like for dang near every single game, someone makes like a player aid. Just the fact that people love board games so much to do things like this just for the love of it. Like, they're not getting paid, as far as I know, to make like a player aid for this game, but they do it. There's a lot of player aids that we've printed out and put into games because they're just so darn useful. And BG users made it. And so Arc Minima is an 18 card version of Arc Nova. And that's wild, but you're putting animals out into like a grid. And on the back side of the animal is going to be enclosures. So when you're putting animals out and stuff like that, you can also essentially make them enclosures, and then you can put an animal on top of that enclosure, depending on what size enclosure the animal needs to be on. And there's a bit more information on the cards, a bit more going on, and you're getting conservation and you're getting appeal like you are in the normal game. And you have an action card that'll have the different actions on them. And the way the card is oriented on the table basically shows the strength of whatever that action is. And I just think it's so darn cool to take a gigantic game with so many cards in it, like Arc Nova, and whittle it down to 18 is just so cool. And I love that about BGG, and I love that about BGG users doing such cool creative things like this. So check out Arc Minima, it's awesome.
So my Murph pick is a 1-cube Kallax channel from the Dyslexic Gamer, where they did a challenge that we actually kind of proposed and put out there, where you kind of pose the hypothesis: if you only had 1 Kallax cube's worth of storage for all the board games that you could want, what games do you choose? Knowing you have a very limited amount of real estate, what games make that collection? Now, we did this on our channel, and it was super duper fun and interesting to try to think of what do you put in, because of course you can put a ton of button shy games if you want, but maybe you want a more varied collection, maybe you want a heavier game and things like that. So how do you use space as the most valuable commodity you have in a challenge like that? And this post is super thorough because they go very much into all their picks. They talk about the games, there's pictures of the games, and really going deep into their thoughts of like why a certain game would make the cube, you know, if it holds that much importance and stuff. So it's a really thorough post. It's really cool. We have absolutely loved seeing other people do this list, do this challenge, and try to figure out if I could just stuff in one more little game, what game would I choose? I think it's really fascinating as a way to create limits on the kind of space you have and to really address like what to you is really important to keep. For me, when I did it, I chose Arc Nova because I'm like, you know what? It's big, but it's a big, heavy game. I'm willing to give up that much space for a game like that. So I just think it's utterly fascinating. I want to see everyone and anyone do this challenge as well. And so it's really cool to see it pop up on things like BoardGameGeek and see that people are engaging with this kind of challenge.
So at the end of every video, we always like to talk about our favorite games of the month. Mike, we both played a lot of games because Mike went to AirCon in the UK. I went to Dice Tower West over in Vegas. So what was your favorite game you played?
So I played a number of great games over the month, but one that I had been wanting to try for a long time and finally got to play was Obsession.
Yeah,
so this is one where you are kind of fancy folks in the UK, and you're trying to like attract the highest folks of society.
Yeah.
You want them to be part of your place. You're putting on events, so it's all about throwing parties and stuff, or going bowling on the green, or doing cigars for the gentlemen and stuff. And you're trying to flip over a bunch of tiles, recruit cards, which are different folks and stuff, so that you have kind of the most prestigious life. And it's just a really fun game where you're kind of working with your pool of attendants and stuff. You have footmen and valets and things like that, and you're kind of putting them onto cards to kind of have the best turns possible. It was just really fun. It's just really fun to play up like what you're doing and stuff. Like we're going bowling on the green at noon. You got to be there.
I've heard it's very good. Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, an American came by. He's new money, so he's not good for the reputation, but he is good for the funds. You know, things like that. It was honestly really fun.
All right. My favorite game of the month was Deal with the Devil. I really like Deal with the Devil. I got to play it at Dice Tower West. This is a cool, big, kind of heavy Euro game with some deduction, and it's not social deduction, but everyone has a hidden role.
Yeah.
And it's beneficial to find out who people are, but you don't really need to. Or consequently, if you are like the devil and you get found out, it doesn't really matter. Case in point, I was the devil in our game. I got found out about halfway through the game and ended up winning the game anyway.
Yeah, you lit everyone on fire.
It kind of gets billed as like this 3-hour social deduction game. It is not that. Yeah. It is just a Euro game with some hidden role stuff in it, and it's really, really fun because you're putting together these deals. They get sent out to everyone kind of anonymously, and so when you get it back, if someone took your deal, you don't know who did it, but you're kind of trying to be like, okay, maybe this person took it. They have a lot of stuff that I just got rid of. Okay, and so it's really, really
figure
fun.
Everyone out.
Oh my gosh, I had such a good time. It's probably gonna be a con game because it's 4-player minimum. And it's just a big kind of heavy game, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to play it again.
I want to play it so bad.
Yeah.
So those are some games that we played this month that we really enjoyed. In the comments, let us know a game that you played that you really loved, whether it's a new game to you, a classic that you got tabled again for the first time in a while, whatever it is, hit us in the comments with those choices.
Indeed. Until next time, I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
That's the best of BG. We'll see you later, everybody.
See y'all next month.